Alright, in this video I will be replacing the front signal light bulbs in my Nissan Pathfinder with these LED bulbs. Now Auxito sent me these bulbs to try out in the vehicle. Auxito gave me a referral link and a coupon code, and I'll drop both of those in the video description. The code will get you 15% off your purchases, and it's just DIY North. So these bulbs are 7443 or 7440, and I believe the ones I pulled out of the vehicle are 7440s. As far as shipping time goes, they were at my house within a week, and overall the bulbs look very, very sturdy, well constructed. Obviously there's some plastic elements and then what looks to be some brushed aluminum kind of look to them. And then there appears to be 4 individual LEDs around the perimeter of the bulb. The other thing the bulbs have is a small fan right on the top, which I'm not sure how required that is for a signal light, but I guess the Auxito company thought it was important enough to include. So like I said, I'm going to put these in my 2012 Nissan Pathfinder, and they're going to be going into that location on the passenger side, and then obviously I just got the 4-ways on, so it's going to go into that location on the driver's side. Now technically you don't need any special tools to remove these bulbs. There's the driver's side one right there. I do recommend you have a 10mm or a wrench of some sort, just so you can loosen the battery and push it back a bit, because the one on the passenger side is a little bit tough to get to. If you have small hands, you can reach in there without moving the battery backwards. But if your hands are a bit bigger, I do recommend just taking a 10mm, loosening the battery up so it moves around a little bit, and push it backwards. So to get them out, you just turn the bulb assembly in a counterclockwise direction and then just pull it back. So let's go into the vehicle and hit the 4-ways. So that's what the bulb looks like when it's flashing outside of the housing. To remove these types of bulbs, you just need to pull them straight out. There's nothing fancy about it. Very straightforward. And to replace the bulb, it's just the opposite. Slide it into the socket and push it in, make sure it seats securely. And there it is with the LEDs on, and you can see the little fan spinning away when the LED powers up. And I wouldn't say it gets particularly hot, but perhaps if the bulb was on all the time in a different configuration, it would get hot. Now to reinstall these things, there's a bunch of little plastic bits that need to line up, and you can't really see it, so you just gotta kind of push it in and turn around a little bit until you find the right spot, and then just give it about a 1/8 of a turn in the clockwise direction, and it'll seat itself tightly into the housing. So there it is with the 4-ways on. You can see the one on the driver's side is obviously a lot brighter. It's a bit of a cheap demonstration because the other one's in the sun, but I will compare the two at night. So on the driver's side, I do put the regular bulb back in so that I could compare them at night. Like I said, with the battery still in the vehicle, it is entirely possible to do this. However, it's much more difficult to actually make a good demonstration video showing it. And really, I just did the same thing. Gave the light bulb housing a 1/8 turn counterclockwise, pulled it backwards, and then once the bulb is exposed, remove the bulb, then take your LED bulb and insert it into the housing. Very simple. And just like the other bulb, I'll throw on the 4-ways, make sure it works before I secure it into the turn signal light housing. So insert it, give it an 1/8 of a turn clockwise to tighten it into place, and make sure it's secure. Once the bulb's secure, just tighten the battery back up. Again, that was a 10mm. So now the driver's side is the regular bulb and the LED is on the passenger side. So again, like I said, a little bit difficult to see during the day the difference between these two things. So I will wait a few hours and do a comparison at night now that I've kind of demonstrated how to change these bulbs. Okay, so I went for a drive into the woods where there's no street lights, and you can see the two different lights. The LED is now on the passenger side and the regular bulb is on the driver's side. Now one thing to note is that the LED bulbs will remove that permanently on feature that is on the front signal lights only on the Pathfinder. It doesn't do that on the rear. They're off when they're off and they're on when you signal or turn on your four ways. But in the front, it's not like that. So just keep that in mind. As you can see, the LED one it's much brighter and it's more of a sharp on-off feature, whereas the stock bulbs have sort of a slow on, slow off, and they never really turn off. There's always a little bit of light that comes through. But the LEDs are indeed much, much brighter. So now with both LEDs installed, you can see that I still have the orange marker. I still have the headlight. And since I have daytime running lights, I'll never be in a situation where those headlights aren't on anyways. So I don't really need that permanent on feature. And even still during the day, they don't come on either. So I don't really have a problem with losing that by using the LEDs. Overall though, these LEDs are much brighter, much sharper, crisper than the stock light bulbs. And in the rear, I'll probably change the signal lights and the reverse light. And those are good candidates for the LEDs since they're two bulbs that are either on or they're off. There's no in between where it operates at a lower brightness and then kicks into a higher brightness once activated. Anyway, here's what the vehicle front end looks like now with the headlights on, side markers, and the fog lights going. I think the fit and finish on those bulbs looks good, and they're obviously very bright. And hopefully in the future I can get some sort of a longevity review on them. Anyway, thanks for checking out my video. Don't forget to like and subscribe.